Yo, 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 what is going on, COD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we are coming back in on SSS1-7. They have been continuing this fight, or at least I think. This actually could be the first video that I'm doing on them. Let me double check real quick by looking at my content. But we do have some good fighting here. Let me see. We did SSS1, we did SSS1-4-6 and -8. Okay, so actually never mind. This is our first time doing SSS1-7. Gotta remember my number of S's here. So this is, again, we'll show you the matchup here for the kingdoms. We have 1, 3, 4, 5, and 10. Now, remember, in this adjusted Season 1 map layout, there is some differences on this one because the fighting areas are Nivola, Caltia, and Forgotten Lands, right? So you got Caltia right here. Not really anyone that's kind of pushed their way. You have this. Oops, hang on. Let me see if I can click on one here. It's not letting me click on. Oh, UEH. No one's taken that, so it's kind of unimpeded. We go Forgotten Lands. You got two alliances here, TPU, and then the farthest one that's made their way down, which is VH-3. But Nivola is where it's at. Right, and again, you could see that just from here. You got two sides, flag building. No flags are being built here from either side. We got KONS, we got OF0X, our boys, just because we're trying to keep it PG for the fam out there. And then we have VH-3, I believe, and then RK-3. So let's take a look at what some of these, and again, some decent, ooh, look at that dude, KON, Luis sending the Emrys Hosk marks actually there on the side. I probably wouldn't have done this. This is actually not a bad somewhat-ish play here from RK and VH-3. Probably would have been a little bit better to catch that earlier, unless that was a blink and we just ended up missing it. Actually, this wasn't bad for them. Ooh, I wonder if this was timed out where they're sending the Cav march in there to do a little bit of... oh gosh, why am I missing my words now? I want to go with deflection, but it's not deflection, right? A little bit of, I could just say annoyance generally. It's going to come to me one of these moments, but being able to go to cause a little bit of a attention or focusing attention a little bit elsewhere while they're kind of timing out the push. I don't know if this, I mean, again, they could have done it a little bit earlier if that was the plan, but here comes KONS pushing now pretty heavy on RK and VH-3. Oh man, here we go. So let's see, we got not too much spread that's happening right now from the KON and OF0X side. Still players that are hammering away on this. Probably going to get some free or at least some easier kills here as they continue to push in. You end up not having as much of a spread here from RK3 and VH-3. I really would love to see them branching out. Again, get that nice crescent moon arc going here from the left of the mountain range outwards, taking a lot of just bunched up AoE damage there. And same thing here, again, on the same side, right? There's my boy Midas. What up, baby? And again, really would love just to see that on the other side as well. Ooh, nice Shadow Games is coming down, though. Again, getting some nice negative numbers there. You see the negative purples, right? That's typically what you're going to end up seeing in most cases for any of the artifacts that are being used to kind of differentiate DPS damage versus artifact damage that you're seeing. Let me see, we got RK3 Tau doing a little backup there, VHS with the Bakshi. No one really has come in here thus far. And again, you can see the line here. This is what I'm talking about, right? It's a lot easier. Even some of these units aren't really in the fight. That's why it's a little easier to again, if you arc it, then everyone's able to engage rather than kind of going up and down a line, right? You're really just kind of doing a disservice to yourself tactically when you're kind of not in good or favorable positioning. Let's also look at who are some, let's see what some of these open field marches are that we're running. So we're seeing Veln, don't know who that second is, Veln Waldir being ran. We got some Lilias up in her. We got Lilia Veln right there. We got an Atheist. Don't know who the pairing is there because I can't see. Maybe Frey? Excuse me. Ooh, nice. That was a Frager Syndrian that I think we just saw there, if that was right, or if that was the unit that died. Maybe I'm cray-cray. No, it is. Oh, but they're running Sindri and Fragar as the pairing. We got Nico. Can't see who's being ran there. Let's see. Nico Guanwin over here for Solo Gyu. We got Lilia Famir. We got Lilia Veln there. We got a Nico, maybe Hosk there from Journeyman who's running away. Nico Kanara here from, Kanara Nico from Lambra. So not bad. We got a Madeline Nika running that off-tank, nice infantry build. Again, that's been very meta thus far as when it comes to what you're consistently seeing being ran with the opt of going Madeline Garwood if you're trying to kind of go Alco-tank. Disruption. That was the word I was looking for earlier, right? Kind of going in to disrupt and discombobulate, if you will, right? Get a little bit of CCing going on. Interesting here on the VH3, hitting the flank. Your boys, this is what I'm talking about. Finally seeing a little bit of some more heads-up tactical play. Notice what's happening now. Look at the split that's being created here from just a few of the units in. Nice shadow games being thrown down for Demor, but look at what's being created. Now you have a few players here from the OF0X and KON side who's now focusing a little bit of attention here. Counter shadow games being thrown down from our boy Midas running Nico Madeline. Very interesting there on the pairing, but it is creating a little bit of separation where now you're seeing RK3 and VH3 pushing out a little bit more. This actually could have been a little bit more well-timed, where the moment that the flank came in from a few of those players, that's when you start doing your push, spreading out, applying a little more pressure from just good positioning and map awareness. Again, wasn't bad. Ooh, shout out to our boy the Ripper too as well. What up, Rip? So again, I like that though. I like the creativity. I actually would have liked if they set maybe 5 to 10 units and flanked around the cliff and then started hitting from the side. They could have done that a little better if they just had a few more units in at least in hand. But beggars can't be choosers. What can we say? Where's my agua? Thought it was here somewhere. Here we go. Gotta make sure we're staying. Not. What we're drinking. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that fresh H2O, high quality, if you know what I mean. All right, let's get back to the action here. Let me see. So this is impressive, though, that they've at least been able to keep building. They're just like, gosh, it was in that, you know what, I really want to reference Demon Slayer in one of the recent episodes where the guy's like still just hammering away at making sure the sword is okay while he's being attacked. I'm just going to say that broadly. But it kind of reminds me of that for any of my anime fans out there, for those of you guys that watch DS. But, all right. Looks like we're slow. I don't know if I'd overextend like this. Con key, I wouldn't be doing that. Again, going in with units, right? Always making sure you have someone advantage. Don't take, like we talk about, right? Don't take the unnecessary DPS for no reason. Same thing here, right? With this player from RK3, right? Again, this is where and I want to point this out. The interesting thing to me is that the poke game is something that we really haven't seen too much when it comes to some. Again, we've had 3 different kingdoms, merged kingdoms that we've looked at wars on. This is the 4th one. Thus far, we haven't really seen too much of high quality poke game. And what I mean by that is having your mages, maybe even sometimes your archer DPS, being able to just poke at the overextenders, right? The enemy legions that are overextending as much as possible or to the highest amount. And then from there, being able to kind of whittle your opponents down bit by bit, but never full engaging, right? Just basically always trying to stick to max range distance and only ever hitting the units that are the farthest out, and then just kind of whittling, like we were saying, your enemy group down one by one to where it forces an engage or a disengage, right? This is something that's very kind of League-esque for those of you guys that played LoL or League of Legends, right? If you're watching professional matches, this is something that if you kind of have a good poke comp, right, and again, they've done this in pro matches, who knows if it's still being relevantly done now, but at a point in time, I'll just reference the idea, is that you would poke with your distance or your range champions, and you would whittle down your opponent's 5-man group, and then you would whittle them down enough to where they either have to choose to engage, disengage, or you choose to engage and go in at that point because you've whittled them down enough. I also want to point out, I actually kind of like this interesting play here from Midas, who's using the RSS tile as a way to where it won't, apparently, either wasn't getting attacked, and he was just kind of going in and out. Ooh, dude, nice shadow games being thrown down there, hitting multiple people for the damage. Looks like we're going to get another engagement that's coming up right now. Again, spreading out, not just overlaying yourself to create kind of a dense level of overlapping, right, where you're kind of hiving your units, right? This is something that we often touch on, and you'll notice kind of both sides are doing it, right? Multiple Shadow Games, Royal Punishment there for that nice single big target DPS, Sword Oath being thrown down there from Undying Boss. We got another Royal Punishment, that Fleeting Beauty right there, coming out, that ground pound for the DPS on Bexicot. Steady shot there from A, getting some DPS. Looks like we got a Tear of Arbin being thrown down there for some nice HP heal. This is actually kind of a nice heads-up play. This is far out enough where they're going to be able to get some of the plus HP from that, at least on the recovery, where it wasn't too forward-placed, where they would have been forced to go out of it and then not be able to get the max replenishment from their hit points. So that was a nice placement there. Now we're seeing... Again, still a little bit of distance fighting here, right? Kind of creating this line that you can see here in the middle. This, again, right? Take these units, spread them out, right? That's something you're going to often hear me say when it comes to a lot of these big wars. Look at how dense this is right now. I mean, talk about just an AoE slugfest galore, right? This is like the juiciest, dense population of units that one could probably hope for, right? This is where you're just throwing out your big AoE artifacts. You're having your AoE ranged legions just massively chewing this down. I mean, again, it's just... And I wonder... A part of me now wonders if the... And ride with me here for a minute on this. Part of me wonders if we may end up seeing... Nice Shadow Games there again from Midas. I wonder if we're going to start seeing some level of off DPS tank, right? Because remember, we saw the Nico Madeline being ran, and I'm curious if we might see Kanara Garwood, right? If it's Nico Madeline, if you're running Alistair, right? If you're running something like Alistair, or even Chakcha for the heal, right? So, and I have to remember if it is Chakcha just to confirm. I think it is on his 4th. Yeah, so increases HP, Legion Chakcha automatically heals the Legion after defeating an enemy, right? So I wonder if you might start seeing, and I don't know if we're going to see a Chakcha again, with it being kind of a, the lowest tier, blue tier rank for Elite. But it is interesting to see that we're getting a little taste of it right now in the open field, and I wonder if DPS may kind of go in that direction. Who knows? I mean, for the most part, really, and it's not as though we have a plethora of heroes to pick from, right, when it comes to matchups or Legion compositions. That's understandable. Because given what we have been seeing thus far is more kind of DPS, kind of glass cannon builds, if you want to word it in that way, where you're seeing, the Lilia Waldiers, right, the Veln Lilias. I've seen some Veln Alwins, right, as an example. Right, these are things that, even on the DPS side, right, Kanara Nico Kanara, being able to see Nico, where we saw Nico Frager, right, Frager Sindrian, Sindrian Frager, right? These are some of the Archer DPS matchups, along with the Mage very far Magic DPS comps that we've been seeing. All right, kind of trickling in with some flying. I think Atheus and Thea has kind of been the go-to, and then I think Atheus and Fragar from what you've been seeing there too as well. Or sorry, is that Thea? Never mind, it was Thea main, so Thea Atheus that we've been seeing. And it's just the flying and the wings and the helmet, right? That's the confusion there on how the little character avatar avatar looks. But these are really what we've been seeing so far when it comes to kind of that not only the pay-to-win meta, but just kind of meta as far as at the highest level. Because, I mean, clearly we're seeing some heroes that are paywall gated, or at least gated to an extent. We're usually going to be seeing those unlocked first from people that are spending compared to your free-to-play. So that, and really you can make the argument probably Veln Waldir is arguably, or Veln, Alwyn is probably the free-to-play meta when it comes to mage DPS for what you're going to be able to get out of it. And I wonder if that's why we ended up seeing that. I thought we saw a mage and a Hosk or something as the secondary, but it was in a mage. So again, whether you're running Veln Alwyn or you're running, Veln, maybe even Veln Hosk as an example, and then you're running Alwyn Waldir if you kind of want to run a control-based 2 Mage Legion comp. You can kind of do something like that. Even throw an Eliana in there if you want as kind of an all-arounder flex pick. But from what we have been seeing consistently, and even right here, right, who is this? This is Kanara, right? Look at this. You got Carl, who's running Garwood Kanara as kind of an off tank or tank DPS, right? Kind of a hybrid build in that sense. And it does, I don't know, it just always interests me to see what people are running, why they're running it, and, you know, what kind of complements in the open field. I think the one thing we really haven't seen too much of is a lot of diversity or kind of customizations in how you're grouping your legions itself. For example, you know, are you going to have people, like I was saying earlier, you're going to have people who are going to run Veln as a primary, Alwyn as a primary, and then have a few legions within maybe 10 or 15 players that are running kind of control, CC suppression type builds, talent builds to kind of help with that on the field, and then have like more pure glass cannon DPS builds that are taking advantage of that. So you'll have those units kind of hit first, get those procs off, and then you have your main DPS. Those types of things that we really haven't seen happen yet. I think most of the fighting when it comes to kind of large scale or grand scale has really been pretty simplistic, where it's kind of like a Hulk smash type approach, right? Where it's you're basically bringing your best Legion march, everyone else is bringing their best Legion march, and then you're just kind of fighting it out. When it comes to the kind of strategy and I think tactical positioning, we're seeing a little bit more of that kind of rock style, just kind of mosh pit battling, and we really haven't seen it, and this is consistent right now, us looking at the fourth merged kingdom, looking for PvP, is that it's not, there hasn't been too much kind of good tactical positioning and kind of good micro and even to an extent some macro strategy that's been applied with how they're kind of handling it over. We've seen some small trickles. Like, again, I liked the flank that happened here on the west side of this hill to the left of the flag that's being built, right, where we saw those 3 units flanking from the side, drawing a little bit of attention from that KON and OF0X push, or that second push that was happening, right? That was something that I liked to see, because to me that's kind of a nice little more advanced tactical play. It just wasn't really executed as well as it probably could have been from the RK3 VH side. But man, from what they've been telling me, they've been fighting for 4 hours. I think I asked someone earlier, and yeah, OFW Gamer said almost 4 hours of fighting. Just wild, man. And yeah, same thing. Man, it's been fun. You guys know me. I love watching as much PvP as humanly possible, right? It is exciting to me, the PvP that we get to watch here in Call of Dragons compared to other Kingdom Builders, just because of how much more it resembles kind of that traditional true RTS, but just on, again, a bigger scale, because you just have more units on the field than you can based on what your kind of traditional RTS unit capacity is. And I think for that, you know, I kind of look at this as a traditional RTS kind of mixed with kind of a grand war strategy, something like a Rome Total War as an example. And then you're just kind of, you know, applying your traditional RTS on top of that. It's kind of like a little baby love child of the two. And for me, that, again, with what we're seeing in COD, with the boundary that they have pushed right now in the genre, that to me is what's the most exciting, because they're doing things that really no one else is at the level that they're doing them at. Now, I still think there's some room for improvement, of course, but I do like the foundation that they have created or built, and I'm excited to see kind of where it goes. So I think that's probably it for the fight right now. Again, I don't know if we're really seeing a lot of replenishment that's happening. Some units are going back. We got to keep what's going down here as well, kind of setting up some defensive measures. Probably even would be a good opportunity to start setting up barricades. I mean, they have some. It might be hard to do it that forward, just because, again, the force over here on the VH RK side is just a little bit more than their opponents. But man, this is fun. Let's look at some leaderboards real quick before we either call it or if more fighting occurs. So we got Poker Face Louise pretty close there on the matchups for either side. And then we have OF0X, KON, and remember we got VH3 and RK3, I think is it, right? And then you got UEH somewhere else. Wow. And then Kevin, so 43 mil. But before you get to Kevin, who's number 12, you have KON, OF0X was at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you got 7 of the top 12 on one side, which is the Southwestern Force. And then you got 2 with Poker Face, and then Kevin at RK, who's there in 2 out of the top 12, right? And they're here on the Northeastern Force. So interesting. Let's look at some personal merits. Who's doing a lot of fighting? We got KON taking the top 4 spots, doing a lot of fighting. Our boy Rip. Juan Super Saiyan rounds out your top 3. We got RK Courage, the Cowardly Dog. My guy Ninja, what's up, baby, over there from OF0X. Timmy Bird, Timmy B. Timmy. Gotta love it, man. There's our guy Midas right there, number 12. I mean, these are nice PvP points, man. Let's see what their top 200 is. I wonder if it's over 200K. So not there quite yet. 161K. But still, you know, given what, been open 2 days, 3 days, a few days here, I think this is, I mean, again, PvP merit numbers are nice, especially at least for the group, of course, that is consistently fighting, because the other 2 regions don't seem to be doing as much currently. Let's look at some alliance merits. We got KON, RK 40 million, RK3 32 million, OF0X 14, and VH. So this is, I mean, this is somewhat close-ish, right? 3 and 4 are close, 1 and 2, right, separated by 8 mil. That's not that big, but then you see the next drop here. So you got your top 4 that's really been fighting. So that's probably where we're going to see the majority of the action up here in Nivola. I mean, again, man, it's nice. I'll take it. You know, this has been awesome to see. So, all right. Well, I don't think we're going to get any more action going in right now, but I will try and obviously capture as much as I can from anyone and everyone when it comes to me getting notified. Actually, this is one of the nice things about having accounts in every kingdom. I can just kind of go in and see if there's any action that's going on anywhere, and if there is, just kind of start recording, which is awesome. Sometimes I just feel like I get lucky. Really, oh, there's our buddy Moon Knight. What up, Moon? But it is, because sometimes I'll go into these kingdoms and I'm just kind of going through them, not really thinking anything of it, and then all of a sudden a fight is going on, and it's just a great opportunity to go ahead and get some footage. So, man, I am always happy to, you know, get as much as I can. Alrighty, folks, that I think is going to do it. Let me know what you think. If you're in the kingdom right now, I want to hear from you. How has the fighting been going so far in Nivola? Is there planned fights that's going to be happening in other regions? Is it mainly just going to be predominantly condensed here to Nivola region? If you're an outsider looking in, right? Again, do you like the PvP that you're seeing? Is there any standouts? Did you like a little bit of the strategy and some of the tactics that we ended up seeing? What are your thoughts on maybe where the PvP level is currently that we're seeing, and again, some of my thoughts, if you agree, you disagree on maybe where it could be and the potential that we still have that is just so untapped. I would love to hear anything and everything. So let me know in the comments down below. That is going to do it for me. As always, until next time, I will catch you later.